Good evening, everybody. Hello. So, guys, I'm just going to start talking while people start joining. Let me know. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me see if I can actually pin this comment real quick. Good evening. I know why y'all are here. Y'all are here because y'all want to get some money. Who wants to hear about getting some money tonight? I don't know how to pin comments. I was going to try to pin my link, y'all. Oh well, somebody else will help me. I got figured out. Hey y'all, good evening. So first of all, are y'all excited? Can I just say, I gotta brag for a little bit and say that there's levels to this because there are not many people out there that have amazing lender relationships and partnerships. And guys, that's one thing I think that we don't talk about enough. So guys, first of all, share this live with somebody because I'm about to talk to some heavy hitters, and I'm about to give you guys. I'm gonna give you some information. They're gonna give you some information about how you can get some money for your business, why people are getting denied, some of the hacks, some of the information you actually. Yes, get excited, y'all. Get a notebook, get a pen, and share, tag your family and friends, tag your coworkers, tag your business partners because this does not happen often. At 8:00 at night, a lender. Come on, somebody is taking the time to actually talk to us about, the back end stuff that you need to actually get approved. And so while I wait for them, I think they're actually on here. Let me just give you guys some context. Get a notebook, get a pen. So guys, one of the reasons why I'm having, so first of all, there's levels to this. Let me just say that lender relationships are critical, guys. It's one of the missing links because if you have good credit, if you have good personal credit and good business credit, but you don't know where to get money, you don't know how to qualify, you're still getting denials, then what's the point, right? So you guys need to know not only how to increase your personal and business credit scores, but you also need to understand your profiles, the underwriting criteria, and where to go to get the money. Okay, y'all? And one last thing I'm going to say, guys, is in my link tree, in my bio is where you can get the links for everything for my brand and for my lender relationships. So let me see if they are on here. Yes, here we go. These are like my friends. I'm bringing my friends in front of y'all. Okay, Rok Financial, and hey, shout out to everybody in Credit Leverage Lifestyle on my wealth witness. Hey guys, how are you?
What's up, Terry? How you doing this evening, Terry?
I'm good. So can you guys hear me? Okay?
Yeah, we got you. Can you hear us?
Yeah. So first, let me say, So let me see. You're a little big. Everybody on the live, can you guys hear Rok Financial? Okay. Type in the comments. Yes or no. So real quick, guys. So first of all, thank you for taking the time. I know y'all been working all day, and I tried to let the people know, y'all. I tried to let them know that we was VIP. Yeah, y'all already know how I am, y'all. I tried to let them know we were VIP, so that's why you guys were taking the time. So okay, you can hear them. Good. So thank you so much for your time. So first of all, thank you. I'm going to ask you guys some questions now. Everybody, so you guys know that everybody in our community, right? Shout out to Credit Leverage Lifestyle, shout out to our Wealth Warriors, shout out to Elite 10. They know who business credit lenders are and they know who fintech companies are, right? But right now, y'all, we are in Instagram world, okay? So everybody does not know about, the difference between just even knowing who to go to get the money and the importance of that. So first, can you just introduce yourselves and then just explain what is a fintech company?
So first of all, Terry, thank you so much for having us on. As you mentioned, we're with Rok Financial. My name is Tony Samino. This is Trevor Shamir. And we're part of the business development team here at Rok Financial. And basically, we're Terry's points of contact. And when it comes to getting money for small businesses, like Terry mentioned, there are a lot of different options available. There's a lot more than you would think, especially in this fintech world that we're starting to live in. There's lenders and banks popping up every single day. So how do you know that you're going to the right lender or the right bank? Well, that's where Rok Financial actually comes in. We work with over 75 different lenders and banks in our marketplace, and we take the thinking out of it for you. So that's where the term fintech kind of comes into our business. We're very, and you know this, Terry, we're real people. We're here to have a conversation with you, but we are backed by a ton of technology And that technology allows us to get business owners from application to approval and approval to funding in the most seamless process available today. So we do deals, and you know this, in as quickly as just a couple of hours. So if you're a business owner that needs money today, tomorrow, or 6 months from now, we're going to be here to help you out.
Listen, did y'all just hear the bars that he left? He said, I will get you some money in a couple of hours. Listen, like, I absolutely love it. And first, let me also say, you know, and guys, I'm putting some things out to you because I want you to know that, like, lender relationships, I'm going to ask you guys to actually expand on this too. It's something we haven't actually really talked about a lot. Some of the intangible things that make all the difference. Guys, we network everywhere else. You know, we talk about networking, but guys, you don't need 20 million lenders. Like, if you have a good fintech company, a good mortgage lender, like a good hard money lender for real estate, like you have one or two people, and guys, they will fund everything for you because they have things that go up to $5 million with the M, y'all. And so this is where for everybody out there in Instagram world, I do not bring anybody in front of you guys. Like, it has to be somebody that I know is a trusted lender. They do good business, good practices. Like, I can text them, call them, all those things. And so can you just talk about the importance of kind of building that lender relationship and how they can kind of get you so much further, how things are just like a conversation?
Yeah, so what's so unique about that, right, is, you know, when we built our business, Terry, we took the crawl, walk, run approach, right? You know, we onboarded our lenders, we started to generate some deals, but, you know, we didn't try to do too much too quickly, right? And I think that a lot of times when it comes to funding, people try to do everything at once, right? There may be different keys to the pie that are going to make the most sense for you and your business. And I think that's probably the biggest challenge, I guess you could say, is kind of getting business owners to really understand how to leverage the relationships that they can build with these lenders, right? Where you can start on a crawl, walk, runs type of relationship with these lenders. I mean, if you think about it, banks lend money on risk. Doesn't matter what type of money you're talking about, it's based on risk. Whether you're talking about a mortgage or a line of credit or a term loan, it doesn't matter. It's all based on risk. Businesses are the riskiest parts of a bank's profile, of a bank's lending portfolio. So when you start to think about banks that lend money to businesses, they're already dealing with more risk than the average, right?
That's
so
good.
you have to kind of think like they would, right? Put yourself in their shoes and think they may be conservative the first time out, even the second time out. But if you can leverage that relationship time and time again, and that lender is there to help you grow your business and take advantage of opportunities, that's the type of relationship you're looking for. And that's the type of relationship that we look to provide. We offer a ton of different products. I know you mentioned we go all the way up to $5 million. Well, there's some products on our platform that go from $5,000 to $50,000. There's other products on our platform that start at 50 and go to 5 million. So that's what's unique about us. There's a lot of different products and a lot of different availability to these businesses. And that's what allows us to, as you know, solve many different challenges, help in many different opportunities. And that's really kind of the core of those lender relations is lenders only want to do the deals that they actually want to do. So you got to be able to tell your story the way the lender wants to hear it.
Yes, let me tell you something. I love something look, we didn't even rehearse this, y'all, because he's saying a lot of good things. And I want to tell you because you said something super critical that I think that most people don't understand. And the lenders, I always say, lenders are looking at assessing the risk in lending to you. You know, how likely is it that you're going to pay it back? That's your credit. And then capacity is, do you actually have the ability? That's your revenue, your income to pay it back, right? Like the two have to go hand in hand. But what I love about you putting that out is that, guys, and I'm going to say it because I'm loud. They know I'm loud. I'm going to say it like louder. He said businesses are like part of the riskiest portfolio, like the riskiest kind of applications for lenders. So they have money to give to you guys, but it's a little bit risky. And guys, just think about the time frame we're in. We're in COVID, like we're post-COVID, right? Kind of, right? And, you know, what were all the PPP loans? What were all the economic disaster relief? It was all to bail out business owners. So for everybody out there, Credit Lovers Lifestyle, Wealth Warriors, you know, eventually YouTube, Instagram,
what you need to understand is that as an investor, as an entrepreneur, as a new investor, new entrepreneur, we'll kind of get into that. You are already have odds stacked against you, right? But how do you overcome that? That's some of that fundability, credibility, building up business credit. Those extra things are what help your application get approved, because you're already like, I don't look. Ann is at her desk like, I don't know about this loan. It ain't gonna come back on me if it defaults, right? So that's good for them to know that just business owners in general are higher risk to the lenders. And then that you guys also, can you talk real quick about your kind of like your underwriting process and why your application process and your underwriting process? Then we'll talk about some of your actual loan types too, because I really want to talk about equipment financing a little bit. It's because it's a hidden gem I think too many people are underutilizing. But can you talk about your application process and your underwriting process and why it's so much better? Come on, somebody. Better, more seamless than like some of the traditional lenders and banks.
So when it comes down to lending, right, there's a ton of different products out there. Every one of those products, they're going to have their own underwriting process. And they're going to have their own documentation needed, right? You talked about equipment financing. You obviously need a quote or some sort of invoice for a piece of equipment in that scenario. So when you look at a loan option, the first thing you want to say is, well, what are we actually trying to do here? And that kind of backs us into what you actually need to provide, right? So, the loan need is actually where we start. We do a quick consultation, usually 10 to 15 minutes with every borrower. And that gives our team a good idea, again, to kind of tell that story. I always like to point out why it's so important to get the application right. Like, and Trevor will tell you, like, he works with business owners day to day, and a lot of times there's the smallest thing that will make or break your application. I want you guys, if you're on with us live right now, I really want you to pay attention to this part, because I want you to use a mental picture for me. If I ask you to picture a tow truck driver, put that mental picture in your head. Now I ask you to picture a doctor, right? You have a different mental picture, I would assume, right? They probably look a little different. They're wearing different clothes. One might have dirtier hands than the others, right? The other probably has gloves on, right? He's got a stethoscope around his neck, or her neck, excuse me. It doesn't matter either way. But the reason that I give you that example is because what if I told you that you were applying as a medical transportation company? How would you write that on an application? Would you write transportation? Because the transportation, that underwriter is going to look at it and they're going to think tow truck driver. If you write medical, they're going to look at that and they're going to think doctor. Now that right there, I can't stress enough, like, the difference between those programs right now. Like you just mentioned, we're coming out of a COVID-19 pandemic. I don't know if people know this, but when you have a pandemic, medical goes through the roof, right? Everybody wants to lend money to the medical industry when there's a pandemic going on because everybody's going to the doctor, right? So everybody wants to lend money to the medical industry right now. So if you apply as a medical business, you are going to see a substantial different approval than you would if you apply as a transportation company. And I know it sounds simple, right? But you got to think about it. Underwriters are people. They have to keep it simple. They're looking at data and they're looking at the information that you've provided. And that's it. They don't have any more. They're not making this decision with emotion. They're making it based on statistics and the applicant, and that's it. So when we go with this application to underwriting, we want to make sure that the first time we're putting our best foot forward. And listen, I stole that example right there of the medical transportation from Nick on our team. He was going through an application one time, and I heard him say to the client, whoa, 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 don't put transportation, you need to put medical. And I stopped him after he got off the phone, and I said, why did you do that? And he goes, well, we have more programs available for medical, and I need to go get him a better deal, right? So as a business owner, you don't know what you don't know, right? I don't expect business owners to have this ammo or this information. We see tens of thousands of applications a month, and that's what allows us to provide this information back to you as you go through the underwriting process. The best thing that I could say is we're not going to make the decision for you. You're going to tell us how much money you need, what program is going to work best. We're going to give you the approvals and empower you to make the decision for your business. business. So that's kind of how our underwriting process works. I know, long answer to a short question. It's very simple, right? You provide us initial documentation. We're going to do a quick internal review. We're going to get that over to the underwriters that make the most sense for the best products that are available for you. We get all of our approvals within 12 to 24 hours, so you're going to know very quickly whether you qualified or not. And at that, most of our deals close within 3 to 5 business days. So like I mentioned earlier, we can do same-day funding. If that's something that you need, let us know when we do that consultation so we can get to that program. But most of our deals close within 3 to 5 business days once we have that approval.
Listen, I don't think the people understand the hack you just gave them. Guys, the success is in the details. Let me say it again. The success is in the details. And just sometimes, I say it all the time, sometimes what you put on the application is like literally getting you denied just based on that part alone. Because I have people saying, well, I have good credit, or I did this, and I don't understand why. Guys, pay super attention to, and this is what he said, and mind you, they're the lender. So they're giving us their time late at night, and they're giving us as much as they can give us. But I need y'all wealth warriors out there to read in between the lines. Okay, y'all, and give them some love. This is helping you out already. But pay super close attention to, guys, the kind of describing the kind of business you are, what you need the money for, how much you need, and I can't stress enough, like how much you need and what are you using it for? How much you need and what are you using it for? Pay super attention to that, guys. And what I'll also say is that they're your allies, right? Like, be honest. This is another thing that people miss. Be honest with them because they can help you sometimes pack it. If you have questions, ask the questions. Don't let them get surprised later on, because guess what? One reason why they're on here with us is because I'm going to say something, y'all. I'm going to say something, Rok Financial. I'm going to say something, Trevor. I'm going to say something. But guess what? I know that they said to us, they said to me, right? Our applications that come through are solid. You guys, so all of you, congratulations to everybody. Credit Lovers Lifestyle, Wealth Warriors, everybody from my Facebook group. You guys have been following the information, and literally they have seen a difference between the people that come through us to them as compared to, a lot of other people. And it's because you guys kind of get it. You're engaged. You ask the questions. You've done some of the foundation. So they're like, yo, like, we're seeing a different kind of business owner. Like, y'all give yourselves some love. A different kind of investor, a different kind of business owner coming through from your community. And that's one reason why they wanted to kind of give the time to share with you guys. They can help you. Look, help more of you get the money you need to grow and expand your business. Thank you so much for that. So let me ask you, talk to me about credit, personal and business, okay? What is really, look, I only ask questions I want the answer to, right? So you can be honest, right? Like, talk about, personal credit first, kind of what you're looking for, and then business credit, what you're looking for.
Yep, so the one thing that I want to point out about business funding specifically is credit in today's environment, right? We're outside of the bank with a lot of the deals that we do, right? So we're kind of in the alternative market. Credit alone, business or personal, is not going to approve or decline you for a business loan. That's just not going to happen. What it will affect, though, directly affect, is your term, your rate, how much money you can access. All of those things will directly be affected by both your business credit and your personal credit. Now, I wouldn't say that one matters more than the other, but what I would say is the things that matter most are the ones that are glaring, right? And what I mean by that is an underwriter is not looking for anything but to check boxes, right? Do you have the credit minimum? Does your business credit profile meet the profile minimum? Right? Do you have the minimum time in business? Are you in the right industry, right? They're only checking boxes. The second you don't check a box, they are declining you. Now, that doesn't mean that it's over for you. There's probably a number of other options available. But I want you to understand how the game works. The game works that when you do apply, they're checking boxes, and that's simply it. And if you don't check one, that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean that your credit is bad. And listen, even if your credit is bad, that doesn't mean that you can't get a business loan. There are business loan lenders today who don't even look at personal credit. So that technically you could have just came out of a bankruptcy on your personal side and go get a business loan. Now, what that means is they're going to underwrite your business more heavily, so you better have your I's dotted and T's crossed on that side of things. But there is opportunity for lending, right? So here at Rok Financial, we actually have no personal minimum credit score. Now, some of the products do, especially some of the more bank-like products like a term loan or line of credit. They're usually about a 600 minimum. Sometimes we can be 550 if you're talking about like medical industry as a core industry. They'll sometimes go a little lower on credit, or if you got a long time in business. Or the most important factor, guys, the absolute most important factor is how much cash do you keep on hand? Every lender wants to know, can you afford my payment? That's the only thing that matters, I promise. They want to know that they are going to get paid back. Because at the end of the day, if they get paid back, they can turn around and lend the money again. And that's what they're looking to do, right? So when you start to, again, put yourself in their shoes a little bit, the number one thing they're going to look at is your affordability. That is what's going to approve or decline. They're going to say, hey, can you afford the amount of money that you're asking for? Are you asking for a reasonable amount of money? And does it actually make sense in terms of, like Terry was just saying, what is your use of funds, right? So how much do you need, and what do you, what are you using it for, right? Again, those two things are really what's most important.
Let me tell you something. I am so happy that you said that, because I talk about like the fundability and credibility, right? Like being a legitimate business, having your address matching everywhere, like having your DUNS, having legitimate business bank accounts, and people are like, y'all. Now I'm talking to everybody on Instagram where I'm talking about y'all, but I'm talking about y'all to y'all face, okay? Because we're friends, and they give me a hard time. Why do I need a business address? Why do I need a website? Why do I need business bank accounts? Like all these things. I'm like, guys, the lenders want to know that they're lending to a legitimate business that's fundable, credible, stable, and no credit. Like, there's, I know, and you guys, there's lenders at all different areas, right? That will, some of that, can be changed. I mean, obviously, your financial, I tell people their credit like, their financial report card. Plus, nobody on my live had no 550 or 600. And if y'all are, I'm going to help you out. Go to the link in my bio and get a credit jumpstart strategy session. But, I mean, I love the fact that, like, guys, you are hearing it from the lender. You're hearing it from the lenders more than just your credit.
What's so unique, actually, is like, it's so much more than that, right? Like, again, it's all about checking the boxes. I've seen lenders, especially premier ones, again, bank-style products, they decline a client simply for having a Gmail email address, right? They want to see that your business actually has a website, and that website is your domain for your email, right? They want to know that, your consulting company or your law firm has a website that is your domain for your email. Like, they want to know that you're running a successful business operation. I once heard one of our partners say it to me, and I honestly couldn't put it any better than this woman did. She put it so simply that businesses can find success in any economy, right? There's going to be businesses that come out and they pop in a bad economy. There's going to be ones that take advantage of the good economy. The one question is how well did they actually build the business? Because the one thing that's going to happen is change. That economy is either going to get better or it's going to get worse. And when that change happens, is that business prepared? And a lot of those things that you're talking about, your DUNS number, having all your addresses matching, just simply your email address, all of these little things, they add up into small wins. And those small wins help you sustain throughout these changes that are certainly going to come, right? So I can't stress it enough, to be honest. Like, and maybe because it's the business that we work in, our leadership here takes everything so seriously. Like, there's a lot of disclosure laws going down in finance right now for businesses. There's a lot of regulation coming down the pipeline. And there's plenty of people in our industry that are extremely scared by this. We're at the forefront. Our CEO, James Webster, he is literally the chairman of the SBFA's broker council. So he's the one that is talking about why this regulation is actually good, how it should be put in place, and the ways that we're going to kind of operate as this stuff does come to fruition. Because there's no reason to not disclose cost. There's no reason to not actually explain what's going on with the money, right? At the end of the day, I want to point something out. Money is expensive right now. I don't know if everybody knows this, but interest rates are extremely high. If you were to borrow money 12 months ago, I could get it for you way cheaper. But that's not the reality of the situation we're in. I just bought a home 30 days ago or 45 days ago. I bought it in the height of the market. Thank you so much. I say that though to let you know that, like, for me, it was all about the opportunity. I had to buy the house at that time. It didn't matter the cost. It didn't matter what it was. As long as I could afford the payment and I was able to make sure that I was going to be all good besides that, that's what made the most sense, right? So I challenge business owners to really look at cost as one of those things, as what does it cost for not doing it, right?
Come on.
If you're not going to take the money out, right? You're not going to make that marketing campaign. You're not going to buy that inventory. You're not going to get that piece of equipment. You're not going to hire those employees. What does that cost? Is that higher than the interest rate that we're talking about? Because that cost is the one that actually matters.
I love that you said that. I love that you said that because, and look, I'm going to say it again. There's a cost to doing business. And guess what? Like, there should be. Like, it's like when I have people, look, I'm good. Now, y'all know, listen, y'all. Y'all know that I gotta be real. Like, they know, they already know me. They already know me, right? And so I'm like, when you talk about hard money lenders and they have all these fees and all these costs for real estate financing, then you come over to business credit and you're getting like, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 in 1 or 2 days. And people are like, why do I have to pay these fees, or why are there costs involved? There's a cost to do business everywhere. There's loan origination fees for mortgages, for everything. So everybody out there, all of my business owners and entrepreneurs, there's a couple things I always say, and I'll say on here with you guys, is that, what you're doing with your credit and the financing matters. We're not getting financing and going on, a vacation, or just like, getting a new wardrobe. Like, use the money for income producing assets. Use the money to really scale your business, because then what's going to happen is the goal is that your business is going to generate the income to pay the money back, right? Something like the business ends up paying for itself, guys, right? And then you'll have a surplus because you did the right thing. The lender is happy, so then they give you more money. And guess what? Every time that you have more money, you're going to get better terms because you're building that relationship. So I would even challenge you guys. I've had people who want like, a $50,000, line of credit. Let's say, just for easy numbers, y'all, it's $5,000 in cost. A consumer mindset, I'm going to say it like that because I'm me. A consumer mindset is going to say, why do I have to pay $5,000? But a boss mindset, an investor mindset, a business owner mindset is going to say, I'm about to yield $45,000 that I'm about to turn into 6 figures, because I'm about to, buy my truck to put on the road. It's going to make me $10,000 a week. I'm about to, get this employee. So guys, the key is that, getting the right type of financing, put it into something that's income producing, and then making sure you're looking at the fact that, yes, there's a cost of doing business, but you're going to yield way more than what you had, and you're keeping your own liquid capital, guys, in the bank, right? That's truly leverage.
You mentioned equipment financing earlier, and I wanted to use this moment, like you just pointed out, to make an example specific to equipment financing. You have $100,000 in your business checking account today, right? You want to purchase a $50,000 piece of equipment, right? That $50,000 piece of equipment, you go out and buy, great. You have your piece of equipment, but you have $50,000 left in your bank account, right? Here's scenario number 2. You come to Rok Financial. I'm going to charge you 30%, right? That's high. I say 30. People are probably like, oh my God, 30%, right? Consumer mindset, like you were just talking about. Well, that's 15 grand, right? 50 is now costing you 65, right? So again, just giving you the numbers, right? 50 is going to cost you 65. So now, knowing what we do when we provide this financing, I'm going to educate you for a second. You're going to keep your $100,000 in your bank account. I'm going to go give you that piece of equipment. My $15,000 in cost is deductible on any profitability that you have on that $100,000 that's sitting in your bank account. So now Uncle Sam only thinks you got 85 in that account, right? Now, you're also, because you bought a piece of equipment, going to get Section 179 of the tax code. So you're going to dollar for dollar write off that $50,000 piece of equipment. So now Uncle Sam thinks that you got $35,000 in your account and you got $100,000 in your bank account. So I did cost you 30%. You're right. But you have this piece of equipment, you have all the write-offs you could ever do, and you have your cash. So again, I don't know that that makes sense for everybody, right?
Bars.
You got tons of cash,
Bars.
it's coming in barrels, then great. Go buy your equipment in cash. But I grew up in the mindset of OPM. I'm going to go get this using other people's money because at the end of the day, that's going to increase my reach. And that's the way that, I got a mortgage on my house. I didn't buy it cash. That's the way that I was able to make that move, right? Well, that's the same mindset that I hope to preach and teach to everybody that's out there, because at the end of the day, that's what business owners do. You want to talk about the 1% or the people that are successful or the billionaire mindset. Well, guess what? They're using other people's money, I promise you. Elon Musk went and found some extra money to go buy Twitter, I promise you.
Come on.
44 billion in cash. That didn't happen. So again, I don't want to, I'm not trying to be like negative or anything like that, but I want to give you the two scenarios. Remember, scenario one, you got $50,000 left in your bank account. Yes, you got your piece of equipment. But scenario number two, you got $100,000 in your bank account. Uncle Sam's only counting 35 of them, and you still got your piece of equipment. So
come on.
Again, I don't know which one's right for you in your business, but at least know your options.
Listen, you like my pastor would say, you're preaching real good. Like, no, you know what? Like, it needs to be said. And guys, like, I'm super transparent. Like, we can't shy. Like, we have to let, like, I want anybody who's connected to me, because I really am a teacher, right? I like to empower and educate. That's why I'm not doing credit for you. I'm going to teach you about credit. I'm going to teach you about your business profiles and fundability, where to go get the money, right? Because we need that knowledge. It's priceless, right? And I want everybody in here, when you go for financing, I want you to go in eyes wide open, knowing exactly what it is you're actually doing, but also having a plan. That's what truly like leverage is. And that's what building wealth is that putting something income producing is going to help you grow and scale. And then all you do is repeat. That's it. Like, you repeat, and you'd be surprised how you can grow so much faster, smarter, and keep so much more liquid capital in your account. It's just like amazing. Let me ask you real quick. So, and let me just say, I got to run one thing back, because you said one of my favorite things about having a Gmail.
Listen, I got a Gmail account, so I don't want anybody to think there's anything wrong with that. Like, I got one personal, but like, if I'm starting a business,
personal.
Personal, exactly. If I'm starting a business though, like, I want people to take me seriously, even if I'm small, right? You want people to know that you take your business seriously.
And we see it all the time. The lenders will come back and they'll ask us, can you verify the internet presence? So if you don't have a website, it sometimes poses an issue.
Even a Facebook page, they'll take sometimes, right? If you have, a lot of people do a lot of business on Facebook. There's a lot of different ways to do business these days.
2022.
Yeah, business. The lenders get that, but they also don't get like fraud or false things, right? So if you're not able to prove that you're not fraud, they also don't love that, right? And let's face it, if you're applying with a Gmail, there's probably a much higher chance than if you applied at ABC Law Co. Businessfinancing.com, right? Like, those things are saying who you are and what you do and really putting you out there. So, I'm sure you could probably speak to even more to it, because you're seeing it on the coaching side.
I say it all the time. I literally have a video on YouTube called How to Set Up Your Business Correctly in 10 Days. And I tell them about the domain name. Like, you guys can go to GoDaddy, you can go to Square. No, it can be $10. Like, you can't go to, and I say it all the time, you can't go to a lender and ask them to invest, to give you basically $50,000 for your business. And a GoDaddy domain is $9.99. You can get somebody on Fiverr to build your website for $10. So you didn't invest $15 into your business to look fundable and credible, but you want the lender to give you $50,000 and you don't know why. It's that fundable. Look, I just be like, and people come in, my team knows, because I see shout out to my team who's on here tonight. They know I'm just going, I'm going to say it nicely with a smile. But I get people in my
I'm glad you keep it real, because at the end of the day, there's so many people out there that would just tell you, yeah, do that, go ahead. They'll charge you $3.95 for an application fee or something. There's the right way and the wrong way to do business, right?
Yeah.
We plan on being here for a really long time. You know what our reviews look like, but if anybody on this wants to go look up our reviews, I challenge you to do that, because at the end of the day, again, there's a right and a wrong way to do business. And when you're doing business the right way, things come to you naturally, right?
Come on.
You know, there's certain things that when you do set your business up that way, that will just, doors will just open up, right? You will start to be taken more seriously, and people will start to give you more and give you certain things that you probably shouldn't qualify for, but you do because you set it up correctly, right? You don't know what you don't know. I said that a little earlier, but what I also want to say is lenders are constantly testing things. Banks are constantly looking to get into new markets or try new products, and timing is an SOB, right? So you just want to make sure that when you do go to market or you do go to these banks, you're able to really show what it is that you're trying to prove, right? Again, you said it best. If you're not willing to invest $15 into your business, but you want somebody to invest $50,000, your priorities are not in the right place. You know, there's so many free resources to businesses these days to help create that online presence. I mean, there is, you know, there's so many, right? You can use LinkedIn to do business. You can
use my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is free. Listen, uh-oh. I can't hear you anymore.
Sorry about that. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry about that. No, I was just saying, like, when we connected, we looked you up. You know what I mean? Like, we want to know that, like, who are we doing business with? How does it work, right? Like, you know, and listen, I may not have the biggest following out there, but I'm definitely putting it out there because, again, I understand what it means to be a real person in this business. There's plenty of people out there that, like, you could go online right now and click through and apply for $50,000, and you might get it. You might. I have no idea, right? You might get it. But what I can tell you is if you call Rok Financial today, we're going to tell you why you were qualified or why you were unqualified for your loan, right? And why you were declined or why we're having challenges or what you should work on, right? And there's power in information, right? Again, you can take this information and potentially come back and qualify for 10 times what you were asking for. So I always say, like, there's no cost to apply with us. The best thing you get out of us is information. Use that to your advantage, right? When it comes down to it, there is a lot available. It may or may not work for you. I have no idea. So the best thing that you can do is make sure that you leave no stone unturned.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Let's everybody, I see some people. So for everybody who came on late, guys, this is the amazing Rok Financial. They are a business credit fintech company. They are a friend to Credit Lovers Lifestyle, to our brand. They have funded a ton of people in all of our programs. They have taken the time to spend, you know, and just ask questions and be super transparent with you guys. Because sometimes people are getting denied and it's something like a small quick fix, or you're just going to the wrong lender. So I wanted to bring somebody. I mean, they have funded one of our people up to $600,000 in business credit. So I've seen $4,000 approvals come through. I've seen $25,000 approvals. I've seen $600,000. All of that depends on you, the actual business owner. You know, and let me just also say, everybody's not meant to be like a self-employed entrepreneur. Some of you guys have, you know, a full-time job, and then you have, you know, a landscaping business on the side of the weekends. Your landscaping business is still doing 6 figures, guys. You can still be leveraging. So don't assume that you don't qualify. What I would say is that, you know, take the information, understand it's more than just your credit scores. Also, action item for everybody on here. Google your business. I tell people all the time. Google your actual business, because if nothing comes up, Houston, we have a problem. Because guess what? The lenders are Googling you. So do you have a LinkedIn? Do you have a website? You know, are you in a professional association? Do you have social media? You know, Google your business, and you be the one that controls what's out there for it. I'm so glad that you said that. And I will say, people contact me all the time, like from a Gmail. They're like, hey, I want to redo your website. You know, they're emails like, redo your website at gmail.com. And look, I see Nadira, Nakia, Mike, all my people on here. I'll be like, y'all see my face just now? You about to help me? Like, no, it's like that's like business 101. So I joke around a lot, but for everybody on the live, so if you go to my link tree, and I'm going to ask them still some more questions, but people have got on late. You go to my link tree. My link tree is everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. Literally, it says apply here, Rok Financial. And one reason why I love Rok Financial is because in the initial process, it's not like a hard pull. I have a conversation with you first. Have the conversation. If you need to fix some things, fix it and then come back. If you're good to go, go. But everybody who has any kind of size business, guys, I started my business at the dining room table with my laptop, my cell phone, and a dream. Okay, but I had all my stuff in order, and money comes to you. So let me ask. So can you talk about your types of financing, right? Because I want to keep. I'm gonna be respectful of your time, but can you talk about, your term loan, your line of credit, your like equipment financing, what's needed, how much people can qualify for. Y'all get y'all notebook and y'all pen and share this live.
So we kind of refer to it as our product waterfall, right? There's a good amount of different availability, but you always start at the top of the waterfall, right? And for us, that's pretty much the SBA. So the SBA has a few different products: the 7A, the 7A Express, the 504. Those are your traditional products. They do have EIDLs and economic disaster and the PPP that all kind of came out, but that's separate. They actually have actual business loan products. They sell them through banks and what are referred to as non-bank SBA lenders. We're partnered with both. Reason being is there's some non-bank SBA lenders that will do things that the banks won't do. When you're applying for an SBA loan, the most important thing that you need to know is you need to appease two people in this application process. Number one, you have to appease the bank, right? They have their own underwriting guidelines. Number two, though, the SBA, the government, this is a government-backed loan. They have their own underwriting criteria that the banks also need to make sure that you meet. Otherwise, they're not guaranteeing that portion of the loan. So it's very important that when you apply for an SBA loan, you're patient, number one, because you're dealing with Uncle Sam and the bank. But number two, that you're able to continuously provide additional insight, additional documents. You're probably going to go through like 4 or 5 rounds of having to provide everything: IV samples, your blood type, what color hair you got, eye color.
What you had for breakfast?
Yeah, they want to know everything. How many teeth you got, all of that. But no, SBA is at the top of the waterfall because it's the best structured product. It's structured over a ton of time, right? So that's going to keep your payments super small, whether you're talking 10 years, 15 years, 20, 25, or 30 years. That's a long time, especially for a business loan. We've talked about businesses being cyclical and having ups and downs, right? Well, if that's the case, they usually need money more often than not, right? So that's where you start to move down the waterfall a little bit. And you start to get to things like term loans and lines of credit, which we refer to as more like bank-style financing, right? Banks, traditionally, you can go to Chase or Wells Fargo and go get a line of credit or a term loan. We don't work with them directly. Some of our providers do, but we don't work with them directly. But these loans are available for, again, a more bankable type of business. All of these products usually require at least a year or plus in business. The SBA is like 2 or 3 years in business. And they want to see, again, businesses that are dotting their I's and crossing their T's. You got to keep a good amount of cash on hand, especially for a line of credit. Reason that I say that about a line of credit is because there's a lot of flexibility. If I give you $100,000 at any given time, you got a lot of power in your hand, right? Versus a term loan, I'll give you $100,000 one time, and you can go make it work, right? You're able to start making payments on that whole $100,000, and that's how the term loan works. Well, a line of credit, you can draw $25,000 today, $18,000 next week, $35,000 the week after that, and still have money left over on your $100,000 line of credit. So when you're talking about that type of flexibility, a bank wants to know that you have even more cash on hand because that's going to give them the confidence to give you that flexibility. And then even kind of further down, but not, again, I say down the waterfall, but like it's just for a different need, right? A lot of these products, they're needs-based products. So you have equipment financing, you have working capital loans, you have cash advances. These are products that are out there that service needs in the business, right? You have factoring and AR lines. They service needs in the business, right? If you have receivables in your business, so you bill other businesses directly, you could potentially use those receivables to go get you a line of credit or some sort of factoring program where you don't have to wait for those receivables to come in, right? And that's a great product if it makes sense for you. But maybe it's the product that, we're talking about like equipment financing earlier. Maybe it's equipment financing that makes the most sense for you. Well, that's a product that could be structured over 3 to 7 years. It's going to be based on the value of the piece of your equipment, right? So you need to know that that's going to be based on the value of the piece of your equipment. And then as they start to look at you as a borrower and your business, if you're not the most overqualified borrower or you don't have the best business in the world, you may have to come up with a little bit larger of a down payment. And that's kind of how that product works, right? You may get away with putting no down payment down if you have a pristine record and you've done this 10 times before. But if it's your first ever piece of equipment financing and you've been in business for 4.5 months, you may have to put down 25 to 50% of the piece of equipment, depending on the type of equipment that you buy. So
just to piggyback off that as well, we could come in and help with that, the down deposit.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We get very creative where we can help fund the piece of equipment, but then also come in and help with the down deposit payment.
Yeah, and we even work with some equipment lenders that way directly, right? You're one of our partners. We have thousands of partners, and they use us all different ways. But some of them are equipment lenders directly. And what they'll do is they'll say, hey, we have this client here. They need to put 30% down on a $300,000 piece of equipment. That's $90,000. They have 45. Well, we are not going to close that gap for them. They can't close it for us. Can you guys help? Yeah, we're going to come in. We're going to make sure that the debt is set up correctly so that they don't get screwed on their equipment financing deal.
Wait, you just went out at the very end. There you go. There you go. It was only at the very end. You said, can you hear me now?
Sorry, I was just saying that we're just going to be able to really give them what's best for their business and not get in the way of that equipment financing deal, right? A lot of times what will happen is, you may think that like I think about the mortgage world, right? They always tell you when you're going to get a mortgage, don't apply for any credit cards, don't apply for any other types of financing, don't go buy a car, right? Don't take out a lease, none of that stuff. Well, that's because they don't want you to affect your credit, right? And I'm not telling you to go out there and affect your credit if you're starting to go down the business funding tunnel. But what I am telling you is we will help you walk that path together, right? If it is a situation where you do have some extra availability, or we can pair you up with a line of credit and you do need access to that working capital, we can do that in a lot of these different ways. And that's what's unique about us, right? We're not trying to stick a square peg in a round hole. We never do that. The approach that we take is, hey, you've been approved for this much. How much do you want? That's just the way that we do business. We see too many applicants to really try to stuff a square peg in a round hole. We don't have the time for that. There's plenty of people out there that actually can use this capital, and those are the ones that we focus on. If you're somebody that just applies now, they want to know what their options are, and then in 6 months from now you come borrow from us, that works too. It's all good. We get it, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure any decision you make is well informed.
I love it. So let me tell you, the biggest thing I want everybody to kind of get from this is that flexibility. Guys, there is so much, we didn't say business credit, and so many people just think, okay, that's a business credit card. You guys have no idea, like literally, like there's asset base, there's factoring, there's accounts receivable, there's terminals, there's merchant cash advances, lines of credit, equipment financing, business mortgages, like literally there's so much flexibility. So what everybody on there kind of understand is if you don't qualify for something, part of being educated, part of being connected to someone, like, look, being connected to our brand is that, hey, look at how much you need, what you're really looking to do with it, and then does it fit into a couple of different categories? There's more than one way to get to that goal. That's also one reason why I love Rok, guys, because you can have that conversation with them, and because this is where they're experts, they can say, well, you know what, based on, your time in business, or based on your industry, or based on your revenue, we can't get you a line of credit, but we could get you XYZ, right? So there's more than one way to get it done, and they have so many more products than just the traditional lenders. That's why we're able to get so many more people funded super fast with bigger money. And real quick, you guys, I don't think they realize the SBA, even though it's the amazing money, guys, we all said that, great terms, amazing money. You're not getting funded in 3 to 5 days. You're getting funded in like, tell people how long it takes to get funded from the SBA.
So they have an SBA Express product, and the Express is anywhere between 6 and 8 weeks. And that caps at $350,000. A regular SBA product can take anywhere between 6 and 8 months, believe it or not. typically you're looking at 12 weeks plus on an SBA deal.
Yeah, so that's important, guys, for you guys to understand, because you want to evaluate, what kind of financing, how much is the financing going to cost you, what you're using it for, but also how fast. They said in the very beginning, how fast are you looking to get funded? One reason why I heavily talk about fintech companies, guys, is some things are same day, some things are 3 to 5 days. 3 to 5 days is still easy. You could probably start, let's say Thursday today, and have your money in hand by Monday. Like seriously, right? So that's super, super doable. So this is one reason why I like fintech companies, because less documentation, more products, guys, and faster funding. Those 3 things alone are like game changers.
You had touched on a point before that I wanted to make sure that we touched on. Trevor had a partner one time that actually applied for their own business, right? Somebody that they were partnered with us, and they were like, hey, I need a little bit of capital. Let me see what you got. I'd really like a line of credit. And now I remembered this individual saying they really wanted a line of credit, right? So here we are. We get them funded. I think 20 grand or $25,000 on a term loan. They were all good with it, but it wasn't the line of credit. They did not qualify for the line of credit. This was about a year ago. I want to say it was like November of last year. Fast forward to about April, 5-6 months ahead, right? Guidelines change, people. Guidelines change every single day, lender to lender, bank to bank. Lender, like I said before, they're constantly testing things, so you never know. Well, I received an email back from this individual. I saw their name pop up again, and I'm like, been a while since didn't we do a deal for them? Trevor, didn't we do a deal for your partner? Yeah, we did a deal. They really wanted a line of credit. We got them a term loan. I'm like, hey, what about that new line of credit product that we just rolled out? Minimum qualifications. Why don't we try that one? Why don't we give it a try? Gave them a call. They gave us some updated documentation. Boom, proof of the line of credit 5 months later. Timing was everything. It had nothing to do with them as the borrower. It had everything to do with the lenders, right? So it may not be you. It just might not be the right time, right? So like I always say, like, you're dealing with today's market. Does today's market solve today's challenges? If not, we may have to wait till tomorrow.
That's good. That's good. I absolutely positively. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So thank you for sharing that. Now I know there were some comments in the as we went along. So first of all, y'all, I can't see the comments. I don't got my glasses on. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Me either. We're a little far. We're a little far.
And I want to try to keep it for like about an hour. So I'll probably have them on again. But guys, if you're a part of Credit Lovers Lifestyle, part of our community, these are our partners. But more importantly, guys, you have access to them too. I am sharing, your network is your net worth. And so, guys, in the link in my bio, it says apply for Rok Financial. That will get you to them directly, and they will know you're part of our community where you can have a conversation. Get your questions answered. And I really, really mean that, and make smart decisions. Can you just talk about some of the minimum requirements for and the dollar amounts and the funding time, and I'll let you guys go because I know it's like late, for like the term loan, the line of credit, and for like the equipment financing, maybe it's like the 3 I kind of get asked about the most.
Yep. So equipment financing is probably the most flexible, and the reason that I say that is because the equipment financing is based on, again, that piece of equipment specifically, right? So lenders are going to really underwrite that piece of equipment right alongside the business. So if they really like the piece of equipment that you're buying, they may have a little bit more flexible guidelines when it comes to that business. For example, this term is crazy today, right? But the term startup, right? In equipment financing, you can be a true startup and go get equipment financing. Now, I put a huge asterisk there because it's going to require a much heavier deposit. Right? If you are brand new, you've never done any business in your business, they want to see at least 30 to 50% down payment. So if you're looking to purchase a $100,000 piece of equipment, you're looking at putting down $30,000 to $50,000. Now, you're getting access to the piece of equipment, so if that can help you start your business, we're talking about a very good deal for you. Now, as far as like term loans and lines of credit go, I know I mentioned they're a little bit more bank style. And you may think, shoot, I'm not a bankable client. I shouldn't apply for one of those. Well, minimum qualifications here at Rok are much different than the minimum qualifications at a true bank. Here at Rok, our minimum qualifications are $5,000 per month in revenue and being in business for at least 3 months. So we underwrite, again, a business directly, right? So we're working with businesses that are existing, and we're making sure that they have the money that they can afford the paybacks of the loans that they take. So we need to see the transaction history of 90 days into a business checking account. As far as like a term loan or line of credit go in particular, those two products actually have a little bit higher minimums. Their minimums are 6 months time in business and $15,000 a month in revenue. Again, they're a little bit more bankable. They want to see that you have a little bit more cash on hand, but they're also going to give you more money, right? If you're making that minimum qualification of $5,000 per month, we're only going to be able to get you anywhere from like $2,500 to $10,000, maybe $15,000 on a highly qualified borrower, right? But as far as like a line of credit goes or a term loan goes, those products start at $15,000 to $25,000. So even if you qualify for the product itself, your minimum loan amount is already substantially higher than some of the other products that are out there. So a term loan or a line of credit today, you're looking at typically anywhere between, like I said, $15,000 and about $250,000 to $500,000 the first time out. And the reason that I say that is because, again, if you're getting a line of credit and you come out and you start using it and paying it back and using it and paying it back and using it and paying it back, that lender is going to increase your line very quickly because they want you to continue to use that line and pay it back, right? Again, they're there to lend money. What they don't like is if you don't use their line of credit, right? So if you take a line of credit today and you're approved for up to $100,000 and you pull $5,000 today and then you call them back in 6 months and you say, hey, can I get this line of credit extended to $250,000? They're going to tell you no. They may tell you your line's been reduced to $15,000. Good luck.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
And as far as you go as a borrower, you're like, hey, I paid my loan back. I did everything right. I'm all good. But you didn't use their money. They approved you for it. You didn't use it. So now, why would they extend you more? Right? So if you're somebody, again, that's going to use that $100,000 and pay it back, and use it and pay it back, and you call them in 6 months and you say, hey, I've used the hell out of this line of credit. Could you extend me to $250,000? You see I got the cash to continue paying it back. It'd be great to get access to a little bit more money. Well, if they don't tell you yes, Trevor and I, we're going to take you to another bank, and they're going to say yes. Yeah. Because we're going to tell that other bank that you just did this for 6 months over at the other bank, and they don't want to do the deal. Right? Again, there's power in who you're doing business with. We have great relationships with all of the lenders and banks that we work with. And just like we're not scared to share information with you guys as consumers and business owners, we share it amongst the banks and lenders that we do business with. It does not hurt us for me to say, hey, your competitor out there, they have a better offer, they got a better rate, they got a high, longer term, right? It doesn't hurt me. In fact, it's only going to help you, right? And then I'm going to come back to you with the best rate, term, and dollar amount possible because I blended all the lenders together to get you the rate and dollar amount that you deserve. So that's kind of the us in a gist, right? Like, we're not here doing anything that you can't do for yourself. But there is lack of information. Couple more things. Sorry about that. There is lack of information out there, number one. There is lack of access to some of these premier products, right? If you are a business owner and you go apply with the top tier lenders on our platform today, they may decline you simply because we didn't bring your application. They don't know hole in the wall, and they really respect their relationship with Rok Financial because we do hundreds of deals with them a month, right? So again, if you're looking for a seamless process as a business owner to get access to funding, there's going to be a cost no matter who you do it with. But at least here at Rok, I know that the process that you're going through is going to educate you on why you've qualified for what you've qualified for and how to best use that in your business.
I love it. No, I appreciate you actually saying it, guys, because it matters. Like, one reason, and what I'll say to everybody out there that's listening, so I want to say two things. So for anybody, because I saw some comments about being denied. So one of the things I get all the time is like, I've been denied. And the very next thing I say to them is why. And 99.9% of the time, the person says, I don't know. Guys, that's the problem right there. You have to know what it is you're being denied for, because otherwise you're going to keep on applying and get denials, guys. And sometimes it's something really, really small. You need to find out what is the reason why. Sometimes you just need an explanation. Sometimes it's a conversation and it can be approved. Sometimes it's something real quick you need to fix and you can come back. So when somebody's saying you're denied, just applying with Rok Financial Loan doesn't mean 100% like everybody's getting approved. Everybody on this line, and you start getting $100,000. Let me stop playing. Right? Just applying with them alone, you have to qualify. But that's why we're here. We're talking to you about some of the things people are missing to help you get qualified. And guys, just higher level. Do you see how we have a relationship, right? I know them. I text them. They know me, right? So when I'm doing videos, when I'm doing teaching, when I'm doing workshops, they're saying, hey, people are getting denied because of everybody had a Gmail account. So then I'm doing a video on fundability and credibility and where to go and how to do it. I'm doing it for a reason, because I'm seeing business credit denials from my lenders who are telling me why people are being denied.
It's so funny that you mentioned that, because we have internally, we always say, you learn the most from declines. You learn the most from decline.
Absolutely.
You know, we may apply for you, no BS. We may apply with 20 lenders for you, right? Again, most of 99% of our lenders are soft pull only, so you wouldn't even know. But at the same time, you would, and some of them, they're super vague. Trevor will tell you, oh, they don't meet our risk score, or they don't meet
model decline.
Yeah, model decline. That's my favorite, model decline. Like, what do you mean? Are they a mannequin? I don't understand that one. But no, we learn so much from the declines. There's so much power in that. We're able to then spin that and really educate these borrowers on what it does take to become fundable or bankable or whatever term you want to use, right? At the end of the day, we're all looking to get access to the money. And, you know, I always joke, dollars make sense, right?
Come on.
If dollars are going to make sense, you have to be out there putting your ducks in a row so that when you do apply, it's the most, it's the best version of yourself that is applying, right? And it may not be the first time. That's why using those decline reasons to turn around and actually educate yourself and level up and come back and really qualify is the only way that you're actually gonna make any momentum.
Yep, I absolutely love it. And then you just said, you heard them say that they package everything, they go, they leverage their relationships. Well, guys, when you guys are partnering with us, you're leveraging that relationship also, because they're like, okay, like we need to, make sure that this goes through, and also give feedback if there's a reason why we can't get it funded, so that person can then correct that and come back to us. Guys, always remember that, if there's any reason why you're being declined, it's something you can kind of go and fix and come back. That's all it is. Don't look at it like, oh my God, this is not for me. Sometimes you just need to change the product or make some quick tweaks. So thank you so much. So I won't keep you guys forever, because I'll talk to you all night.
Terry, you and I, we could do this all night long. Like, I'm in the office, like I look good enough. I'll be here tomorrow too. Like, we could just keep this thing going if you like. You see this guy running back and forth still in the office.
Yeah, like first of all, where y'all at? It's all light. Are you like in an atrium or something? It's like dark here. Like, where are you at? It looks like you're outside, but it's light outside. Like, I know it's not light.
I mean, we could do a little tour. We're in the conference room.
I love it.
We're here in our conference room. This is our conference room. This is kind of like the little main entrance area over here. And then this is kind of like our production department, our marketing team, accounting, all of our operations take place here. And then kind of, I don't know if you can kind of see like around the corner over here, that's like our sales team. And those guys are still in the office right now. We do business nationally. So we're in all 50 states. We lend in all 50 states, again, all of our products. So because of that, I know it's 9:07 on the East Coast, but it's 6:07 on the West Coast. And a lot of those owners are just getting off work now. Now is the time where we can actually connect and have a conversation. That's probably why you picked this time slot for your live, is because all of the movers and shakers and hustlers got to work all day long, and we got to get on here at night to learn some game.
Yes, turn the Netflix off and come get you some money. Learn what you need to build your wealth and your legacy. I love it. So, and a real quick recap, guys. So, Rok Financial, a business fintech company, super easy process. One reason why I love them is because they fund very, very quickly. They have multiple products that you can qualify for. They're connected to over 70 different lenders, guys, and they will give you almost like, I call you guys credit advisors, that will have a conversation with you first to kind of figure out what it is you're looking for, what you want to use it for, kind of help you through that application process. And then more importantly, if there's any reason why they're not able to fund you guys, if they can't fund you, then listen, let's like we're gonna fix it and we're gonna come back, right? Because they fund everybody, right? So then, they'll give you that information. It's one reason because they funded a bunch of, I just kept on seeing, just people like right away, and they were newer businesses. And so, I really kind of took a look at what they were doing, and I love it. Then you guys sent me some updates of your programs. So can you tell us just like the amounts for the lines of credit, for the term loan, and for the equipment financing? Because I know one of them goes up to like 50,000, 100,000. One of them goes up to like 5 million. Can you just talk about the dollar amounts that they can get for these different kind of products?
Yep. So our full range is anywhere from $5,000 to $5 million. The SBA is anywhere between $30,000 and $5 million. Equipment financing goes all the way up to $5 million. Term loans and lines of credit typically cap at about $500,000 your first time out.
Love it. So can you explain real quick to equipment financing? Because I think that people don't understand that almost all of us could use some kind of equipment. It's very relative to your business. I think a lot of people just think of maybe like, like a landscaping or like restaurants, but so many things could technically, y'all listen up right here, right? This is a hack. Like, so many different things could be equipment. Can you just give some examples of what some equipment is that you guys finance?
So it's really unique now, right? Again, 2022 is a wild time. We got a lot of technology everywhere, right? You could even be talking about a massive payloader or dump truck that's still worth a couple $100,000 that the business owner actually wants to put a $40,000 GPS system in. And we will finance the GPS system to put in the truck so that if somebody comes and steals his truck, he can track his truck, right? We will fund what they refer to as FF&E, and that's furnishings, finishing, and equipment. So basically like lights and dimmers and desk chairs and desks and laptops. All of that can be done through equipment financing. Gym equipment can be done through equipment financing. Not saying that you're going to go buy a Peloton in your house through equipment financing. I would say use their 0% financing. I did that. You should too. I love it. 0%. Take it.
I love it. Yes.
But no, there really is, like you mentioned, a really wide range here. I don't know if anybody in your network, but one of like the biggest taboo industries out right now is the cannabis industry. It's exploding everywhere. Over, I think, 60% of American adults have access to purchase recreational cannabis as of today. When you talk about New York, California, Colorado, Massachusetts, New Jersey, I'm missing a bunch. I mean, Florida's got some things going on with medical. There's a lot going on in that space. We've been lending in that space since 2016, but even equipment financing in that space. So like extraction machines, even glass casing and like, stuff that you would have for retail, to kind of have your stuff on your shelves, right? You need those shelves. There is a lot of different types of equipment out there, and most of it is available on equipment financing. I will say, though, that every lender kind of has their own palette, right, or what they like. So you may find that like some of them are more flexible on pieces of equipment versus others. One of like the best pieces of equipment that you can buy is referred to as yellow iron construction equipment. So like a payloader, a backhoe, dump truck, those are like real high converting pieces of equipment because they have very high resale value.
So I saw somebody on the live stream. So real quick, so because a lot of people, especially that are connected to me, we have some, photographers and YouTubers and podcasters and all those things. So guys, like, even though I'm on my cell phone still because I don't know how to work any of my equipment, but I have some heavy duty equipment, y'all. Like the level up is coming, I promise, right? But like, our heavy, like our lights and our cameras, like, there's cameras that cost thousands of dollars. There's microphones that are hefty. So guys, all of that stuff can actually be, I'm saying, because I see some influencers on this live, like all those things can actually be financed through equipment financing, right? I saw somebody on here say cars. Can they do cars on equipment financing?
Not a personal use vehicle. So
no,
if someone use it for personal use, no go. And if you have like a Turo business, that's going to be a no-go. But if you're like, if you're purchasing like let's say you do own a landscaping company and you want to purchase the truck that you, the owner, is going to drive around in every day, and it's a nice, you know, GMC 2500 diesel, you know, brand new $85,000 pickup truck, you don't really want to pay for that thing out of pocket. We could certainly do something like that on equipment financing. As far as like the cameras and stuff go, I mean, there's a lot of lines out there for businesses as well. Like Amazon will extend you a line for your business. Now, I'm not trying to take away deals from me. If you want to send me equipment financing, we'll take it. That's for sure. But just know that we're not the only, the only girl in town, right? Like, you can certainly go out there and develop other relationships so that you have an Amazon line, you have a line with Uline, or you have one with Staples or Costco or BJ's, because let's face it, businesses are going to have unique things come up. I mean, the amount of paper goods that we go through in the office every single day is ridiculous. Like,
the trade lines don't hurt.
Yeah, the trade lines certainly don't hurt when it comes to them applying for financing.
Come on, somebody, listen. You're preaching real good, because everybody connected to me, like, they know. I think it's made, especially because they're all soft pulls, like those tier 1 and tier 2 accounts, and those multiple trade lines help you qualify for the big things, guys. They're co-signing everything that we talk about, and even like the fleet cards. Guys, people are like, oh my God, I didn't get a $100,000 line of credit. But we have people, Credit Leverage Lifestyle, who have gotten $50,000 in fleet cards in like less than 30 days. So they can put all their gas for their Turo, for their daycare, for everything. That helps tremendously, because guys, the goal for true leverage is that you, the business owner, investor, whoever, you're not using all of your own capital, right? You're using OPM to actually build and leverage, and you're able to scale faster, smarter.
I mean, if you think about it, right, you're a restaurant owner, you want to start a food truck, or you're somebody who does meal prep and you want to buy a delivery van, right? Like, these are things that like would be great things to do in your business, but it doesn't mean that you have the resources to go out and do it. Well, you can certainly go develop those trade lines to run your business, right? Where you're accessing, you're buying all your food through those trade lines, or you're buying all of your supplies through those trade lines, right? And because you've used and leveraged those trade lines and not banged up your personal credit while starting your business, you've now turned around and applied with better personal credit, actually established business credit, and you've been running your business for 6 months. You're a shoe-in candidate for Rok Financial, right? So,
come on.
Like you said, like, I know you talk about this stuff, and I'm so glad that we get to come on and really hopefully provide some validity behind it, because, I mean, again, we do hundreds of transactions a month. We see thousands of applicants. And that doesn't mean that everybody is a fit for what we're looking to do, right? But when you actually provide all of your documentation to Rok Financial, we have over a 93% approval rating. And
come on.
Because when we're actually going to take you to the market and say, hey, you're physically applying for a loan now, we are going to who you should be going to the first time. And we're getting them everything that they need to make the best decision. And the last part of that is we have a lot of experience here. Our team's been doing this for a very long time. Our production team is amazing. They do all of our lender relations and interact with all of our lenders on a day-to-day, deal-by-deal basis. So you may not even know this, but you could have been declined by this lender. Our production coordinator picked up the phone, called over there, got the head underwriter on the phone, and they said, hey, listen, we're Rok Financial. This is our most recent applicant, and per your guidelines, this deal should have been approved for this much money over this much term. Can you look at that again? I can't tell you times like we actually overturn declines using the lender's own guidelines against them. They're people. They don't know everything every single time, right? Again, they're trying to check boxes. They're trying to move quickly, and human error is going to happen.
And a lot of it's automated.
Yeah.
That's why they call it fintech. A lot of the lenders, they have automated systems where, just as Tony was saying, if you don't check this box or that box, it may be a decline. But they can reach out and turn that decline.
It happens all the time. At least 10 times a day.
Yeah, so we call it the reconsideration department, and I've done videos on it, because it does, like, everything is all automated now, and it's like it doesn't even get to like an actual person unless you actually like sometimes go fight for it. And like, it's a high rate. Like, I've seen even on our end, like 70-80% actually get overturned just by you picking up the phone and then getting in front of somebody, or you answering some questions. And so, guys, that should be a takeaway for you.
I was going to say, that's if you're lucky enough to get in front of them. right? A lot of times when you call, you're on waiting and they don't have the manpower over at that bank to answer your phone call, right? Because they're too busy underwriting all the deals that are coming in. Well, that's the difference between us. Like if we pick up the phone and call the lender and they don't call us back in 2 hours, they're not going to see the next 300 submissions from us. So they're going to get that phone call. You know what I mean? And again, we're going to flex that muscle to make sure that the clients that are applying through us are actually getting what they should get, right? Like when a partner like you refers us a deal, that's a very important thing to us. So when we turn to our lenders and they want to decline your client, we take that personal as I'm sure you do and they do, right? So we go to battle just like you would. We're going to put on our armor and we're going to shine up our armor and we're going to go to battle. But the best thing about us is we know where their weak points are, right? We have all the data that they have. In fact, we have all the data that their competitors have too. And we're going to show that to them too, just to make sure we sweeten the pie a little bit. So, it's really been awesome to get a chance to be on here and answer some of these questions. Because again, I hope that we're able to provide validity to some of the things that I know you talked about for such a long time.
I love this conversation. Like people don't like this conversation again. Like just thank you for being transparent. Thank you for giving the time, and thank you for like filling in the missing blanks because it just honestly business credit is very, very new to a lot of business owners, and a lot of 95% of businesses go out of business. Kind of fail like the very first 5 years, and it's because of lack of capital. But guys, there's so much capital out there available, much lower requirements than what you guys think. Some of you guys qualify for financing that can change your whole life right now, but you just don't know about business credit, about how to look good on paper or where to go, which is why I'm here, why I'm passionate about it, because it's changed my life, guys. And the people that know me that are looking good on paper literally changed my life, and now that's become part of my mission and purpose is to help other people do the actual do the same thing. So I thank you guys for just being transparent, kind of filling in some of these missing blanks, because business credit and fintech companies, all this is actually not really new. It's just that it's new to our community. It's new to people at all different levels kind of utilizing it. So we just have to kind of get this message out there even more. And so what I would like you to do, because I've been up since 4. So.
Me too.
Here.
We were texting each other going to the gym this morning. We've been at it for a while, so we get you.
I ain't been at the gym, Charlie. You trying to talk about me? I'm gonna get there soon. I lost like 15 pounds. But if you can just explain real quick, because I know some people came on just like the application process and how quick it is. And then guys, I'll put my link tree, but guys, you can always get connected to them through me. On my link tree, I have an actual link that says, Rok Financial. It will take you right to them directly, and they will know you're part of our community, and you can have a conversation with them before you formally apply for that, before they put you through the lenders and so forth. So can you just explain the application process real quick, and then we'll kind of close out?
Yeah, so we see probably about 10,000 applicants a month. Anybody who, you average that out, that's a few hundred a day. Anybody who's going to apply through your link tonight, our team already is aware that those are the leads that are going out first tomorrow morning. So you may not hear from somebody tonight, but you're first on the docket tomorrow morning. So if you don't want to wait and you say, oh, well, I'll just go to Rok Financial Direct or this or that, you might fall through the cracks, right? I don't want to sugarcoat it, right? I know where the people that apply through your link are going to land, and that's at the top of the list. So I just want to point that out. But as far as the application process goes, you're going to click submit on a quick short form, right? Once they click submit, that's going to create an opportunity in my system. Our lead team is going to get to that thing first thing tomorrow morning. They're here at 8 a.m. So they'll assign that lead out to one of our sales representatives, and they'll reach out to you directly to have that consultation we were talking about a little earlier in the call. We do a quick 10, 15-minute phone consultation. We're going to request a brief loan package from you, depending on what type of product you require. We may request a little bit more or a little bit less documentation. But our typical loan package, just so you guys are all prepared, is typically 3 months of business bank statements and a signed application. I believe even in your landing page, they technically can upload all of that right in succession. So once you click submit, you can upload your documents, you can sign the application, and it's going to verify all of your info for you. That will allow us to do our in-house underwrite, right? So every deal, when it enters what we refer to as stage 3, that's deal review. We review every deal internally. So we're going to check your business credit. We're going to check your personal credit. Because again, you may have told us the story, but you might have forgot that one thing that happened a couple of years ago, right? So I get that. We're going to do a little bit of research, make sure that we have your whole story and are able to tell that, and that the people that we bring your story to are the ones that you hear, right? And that's what that background and research allows us to do, is bring you to the right lenders the first time. Again, we typically get all of our approvals within 12 to 24 hours. And then it's anywhere between 3 and 5 business days, typically, for closing.
Love it, love it, love it. 12 to 24 hours and 3 to 5 business days, guys. Thank you so much. Okay. So everybody who's on this live still, like, show them some love. You got some value. You learned something new. Like, give them some heart signs, some fire signs. Like, they just gave everything. Yes, I love it. So thank you guys so much for being on. I'm going to save and repost this, and then I know we're going to talk about actually meeting again. I just want to say, thank you for being transparent. Thank you for the way that you just handle everybody that comes to you from my community. I mean, everybody has to love to work with you, that you're responsive. I pay super attention to that. I don't co-sign everybody. My team knows, like, I will do. Not today, right? Because I care about our community, and I want them to kind of have a good process, and I also want them to learn and grow, right? Because this is just the beginning. Somebody on here, this is just the beginning, and even if you apply for something, you get a smaller amount, guys. I always say take it and grow and grow and grow, because one of the blessings with business credit is that it increases super quickly. So start where you need to start, and then build that relationship. And guys, after that, the sky is the limit. Come on, somebody, the sky is the limit.
It's so true. It's so true. I can't tell you how many businesses start borrowing $5,000 from us and access $250,000 plus a year, even shorter later. It happens way more often than you would think. Those are savvy business owners that take advantage of what's available to them, and they have that crawl, walk, run mentality. They're willing to grow with these lenders who are willing to grow with them. So, shout out to you for having us on. Thank you so much. I know how important the community is to you, so I'm just glad we got a chance to come on and share a little bit about us and some of the experiences that we're seeing lately, right? Like, I always say what's unique about us is you're going to hear from what's really going on in the market today, because we just spent the entire day working through the market. So I hope that you guys got some value out of this, and it was awesome, and we can't wait to do it again.
Yes, guys, thank you so much. So thank you so much. I will talk to you guys soon, because I'm always talking to you. Everybody out there in Instagram world, social media world, go to the link in my bio to kind of connect with Rok Financial. Just thank you for being on. And guys, share the information with somebody. It's one thing to get the information yourself, but it's a blessing when you share the information with somebody else, so they can level up also.
Follow Tony.
Follow Tony. See you later. Thank you.
Have a good one, guys.